Okay, welcome everyone. Today we are covering the life cycle of a lead. So as you guys know, real estate is a lead generation business, but it doesn't stop there. You can't just generate a bunch of leads and then collect them like Pokemon cards and not do anything with them. You need to actually set up a system to follow up with them and make sure you're staying in touch with them. So you can get them to close and then stay in touch with them even after the close so you can get them to close again. So that's kind of where the whole life cycle comes into play. You will be able to, there we go. I'm still, can you let people in from the waiting room, Sierra? Do you know? I just let someone in, but okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
I think that we're both letting them in at the same time, so don't worry about it because I'm seeing that they're coming in too.
Perfect. I will not worry about it then. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm already logged in to Command. If you get, see what it would look like if I wasn't logged in, just this like login screen right here. So as a reminder, Command is agent.kw.com. You can think about that as the agent access to kw.com. If you go to kw.com and try to put in your login credentials, it's not going to work because that's a consumer facing site, whereas agent.kw.com is the site that's actually for agents. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in here. And then as another quick reminder, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this today, but you do want to make sure pretty much before anything that you do in Command, you want to make sure you have your marketing profile up to date. So I'm going to show you where to find that. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but that way when you are going back to work on these things, you can do this yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go to, my goodness, what is going on? Let's try this again. It wouldn't be a Tech Thursday if Command wasn't being crazy. All right, so I'm going to click my name right here and then go to Settings. And then from Settings, we're going to go to Connect Settings and Marketing Profile. So this is basically your first step with almost anything that you do in Command. You want to make sure your headshot is there, your name, your contact information, all that stuff, your Market Center logo, all of that stuff is taken care of. We do have some classes where we cover this a little bit more, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on this today, but just make sure you take some time to go through this and get this set up. Now, what we will start with is I'm going to first create a landing page because that's kind of what we're going to start on first. So if you click this red KW right here, this actually expands this menu so you can see kind of what everything is. We're going to start in consumer. So today I'm proposing a bit of a hypothetical situation. So you can get leads obviously from numerous places, not just what we're going to work on today. But let's say, for example, you get a lot of your business from open houses and we can't do open houses right now. A good way to continue working and continuing to get those leads is to do virtual open houses. So we're going to talk about virtual open houses, but just know that these leads that I'm talking about today, they could be coming from Facebook ads, from your paid Zillow or Realtor.com leads, your past clients, your sphere of friends, all of that stuff. So these could be leads from anywhere. I'm just using this one as an example. So I am here in consumer. We've got landing pages, agent site, and then your guide builder. I'm going to go to stay in landing pages, go to create a new site, and we're going to do a standalone page. So this right here, we're going to do kind of an example of if you wanted to do a virtual open house and you want to make sure that you're getting as many leads from that as possible, you could actually create a landing page for people to sign up to get the link to do the virtual open house with you. And then you could post the link to this page on your Facebook or your other social media. You could send it out in an email, in a text message, whatever the case may be. But sharing this and then getting people to sign up can be a great way to see kind of who's interested in checking out this property. So first things first, we always name our pages. We want to make sure we don't get them confused with other ones. So I'm going to call this one, let's see, today's the 19th, I believe. So 11, 19 virtual open sign up. Okay, I can't do all those out of characters, but that works. We'll just call it virtual open. Oh, no, there it goes. All right, so 1119 virtual open sign up. I always like to start with a branded header just so people know this is my page. I then want to do a lead form. So this is where I'm going to get that contact information of people that's going to go into my my database. And then I also want to make sure people know what the house looks like. So I'm going to throw this listing down here too. So we do have classes that cover how to make landing pages entirely, like that's the focus of the class. But today we're going to kind of skim over it a little bit quickly. You can follow along with me and set up a landing page just like this, or if you want to learn how to set up other landing pages, check out our listing and landing pages Tech Thursday class recording. And Sierra, could you put the link to our YouTube page in the chat?
It's already there.
Oh, perfect, thank you. I've been ignoring the chat because I know that you're here and helping me out, so thanks. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure these. So obviously we've got this hilltop view, this like fake listing right here. We're gonna make it a real one. So the branded header and the lead form are already technically set up. You may want to further set that up. So see how it has a green arrow right here? That means it's good to go. It can be saved as is. This one does not have a green, I said arrow, I meant check mark. This one does not have a green check mark, so it does need to be configured further. But let's go ahead and start with this branded header. So you can put something here in the top. So for this one, I might say, take a virtual tour. And then that might be all I want to say. And then click save and apply. Now I know this used to be an issue. I'm not sure if it still is, but when you would put something up here and then view it in mobile, okay, it looks like now it just takes it away. So just something to keep in mind, whatever you type on there, if someone's looking at it on their phone, which, you know, a lot of us are on our phones these days when we're on the internet, that one might not show up anymore. But on a computer or on a tablet, here's the tablet view. It should still say take a virtual tour. And then for this next section, this lead form, I'm going to say sign up to receive a link to the tour. And you guys could probably come up with something better than that to say, but you get the idea. You want people to sign up. And then for our next widget, we've got to put a listing on here. So I am going to borrow our designated broker's new listing. So I'm going to go to MLS number, and that MLS number is 168876. Now, if you have your own listing, that's great. You should definitely do something like this, do a virtual open house for that listing. But if you're going to use someone else's listing, just make sure that you get written permission from them first. Why is it not showing up? Let's try oh, I don't have the property address. Does anyone have a listing right now? No? All right, we'll just pick something else. Alrighty. Here's one. We'll just select this. Okay, so as you can see, it does pull things directly from the MLS. So I've got my listing here. I've got, it's 750,000. It's going to pull all these images from the listing. Let's go ahead and save and apply and see what it looks like. All right. So now we've got take a virtual tour. It's got my name, my phone number, my email. sign up to receive the tour, the link to the tour. And then it's got these pictures of the house. Some details, it's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 2008. You can go through and look at all these pictures. Shows you where it's at. And there's the price too, although it does look like this one's off market. Just my luck. Okay, we're pretending like it's active though. And let's go ahead and publish this page. And yes, we want to make sure it's visible to others or else it's not going to do as much good. All right, so here we've got the link to that sign in. Now you could always create a custom domain and then you could send an email to support@ScottLeroy Marketing to have that custom domain forwarded to this site. For just a virtual open house, I don't know if that's really necessary. For a listing page, maybe, but for this, probably this would do. You could always make like a short link. I use this thing called Bitly, which is bit.ly. That's a free service you could go to make a short link. You can also edit this link, but you can only edit it to a certain extent. So, oh wait, not like that. So if you go to change URL, the only thing I can change is just this part right here. Everything before that, the pages.kw.com/kara-krog/556262/ that has to stay the same. So this is what people would see if I sent them to this page. So again, this could be maybe something I would post on Facebook that says, hey, you guys, I'm going to be doing a virtual open house for this gorgeous property on Friday, November 20th. Sign up here to get the link to the tour, something like that. So let's say I'm interested in that. Let's go ahead and sign up. Today I'm going to be Gary Keller. And let's use this email. And we'll make our phone number all right. And then I can leave a note here too if I'd like. I'll just say excited for the tour. And then I'm not a robot last time I checked, so I'll click that and then send. So that's how easy it is for your potential clients to become leads by signing up. So if you have the Kelly app downloaded on your phone or connected to any of your wearable tech like your Apple Watch, I just got you probably can't see it, but I just got a notification that says lead form notification, new lead info captured. So that came to my watch, which is really cool. It also came to my cell phone. This is great because I know you guys are probably aware it's very important to follow up with leads as quickly as possible. If you don't have the Kelly app downloaded, that's K-E-L-L-E. If you don't have the Kelly app downloaded, you're not going to get these instant notifications. You're only going to be notified when you go into command. So I definitely recommend getting that. We're also going to talk a little bit later about some other ways that Kelly is going to notify you. So it's not just for leads, but it's pretty great. So here I'm back in command. Let's go home. Yeah, I can leave the site. And now you see I've got this little red notification on my notification bell. So that's also telling me if I didn't have the Kelly app, this would be a way for me to tell that I have a new lead. So again, it would be a lot slower, but you know, still letting me know. So if I click this bell, it shows me that I got a new lead. So I'm going to click that. And it will take me to that contact in my database. So one thing that's really cool is I don't have to copy and paste Gary Keller's information from my lead form or from a spreadsheet somewhere into my database. If they put their information in that lead form, it automatically adds them as a contact in your database. So not a lot of work needs to be done after that. And now he's here. So now we've gotten to the point where we have a lead. Now is that part where it's like, what do you do with the lead, right? So we are going to set up some smart plans for Gary because I want to make sure, I'm not sure where he is in the process of buying a house. I feel like he's probably interested in buying a house since he wants to go to my virtual open house, but I'm not sure where he is in the process. So let's start finding some ways to keep in touch with him, to stay in contact with him, and then figure out how we can take him from this brand new lead that I don't really know a lot about to my good friend slash client who we are coming to close on a property together. So the way we would do that is by adding Gary up on some smart plans. So I'm going to go to the smart plans icon right here. And let's think about some smart plans we might want to put Gary on. So most of the time when you have someone that interacts with you in a digital way, so let's say they are reaching out to you via Facebook or responding to something like this, they probably want to be communicated with, at least at first, in a digital way as well. I think sometimes it can be a little off-putting for when you like something on Facebook or you respond to something on Facebook, you immediately get a call from an agent. You're like, whoa, 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 I wasn't ready for all of that stuff yet. Something like a text message or an email might seem a little bit more like their speed initially. So it's something to keep in mind. Now, here's my smart plans library. These are some smart plans that I've already downloaded, but we're going to download some more by going to your whole library of smart plans right here at the top. And we do have a smart plans class too that Sierra has taught that we have recorded in that our YouTube library. So if you're really interested in doing these smart plans and you want to kind of dive a little deeper into it, taking a full-on smart plans class is probably going to be your best bet. But we're just going to cover some ideas really quickly on some ways you can automate that communication with your leads. So I am going to search around for some smart plans I might want to add to Gary. So right here, we've got an open house follow-up. So I can view the steps of this. It looks like there's going to be an automated or manual text. Now, the text will only be automated if you have texting set up through your command account. I believe it's about 1 cent per text that you send. So it's probably a little bit more expensive than sending a text from your mobile phone, but it will automate it for you, which is a really good system. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be your same phone number. It's going to be a separate CRM phone number. As far as I know, there's not a single CRM database management tool out there that will automate text messages from your own personal mobile number. So that's just kind of something where it's like, if you want them to be automated, they're going to have to come from another number. I personally text people from my work number all the time, my CRM number, and then, even if they have my other phone number saved in their phone, it's not really much of an issue. I think people are just like, okay, just say who you are, and people pretty much just accept it. They're not like, why do I have 2 numbers for you? But if they do ask, you can always say, it's a work phone. But anyway, so you also have the option to just do manual text. So that's kind of what we're going to cover today. That just means you'll get an alert saying that you need to text this person, and it'll give you even like a script. Where is it? There we go. It'll give you a script of kind of what to say in that text message. So you'll just have to copy and paste it on your phone. So this is going to be a text. Hey, thanks for coming by. What did you think of the open house? Instead of that text, I can actually edit this. So I would maybe want to use this smart plan, but then edit this to say, hey, Gary, thanks for tuning in. What did you think of the virtual open house? So it's just a couple small word changes that still make this plan really applicable, but just making it a little bit more specific to what I'm doing. So then here's a touch task, basically saying, you can choose the way that you want to interact with this person, but maybe an email would be nice. Send a nice to meet you at the open house email to your lead for the open house you held. And then it shows like the name, because these things will pop up in your tasks bar. And I'll show you that a little bit later too. But let's see, then it delays 2 days. Then it wants you to call them. It kind of tells you what to say when you call them. Delay 3 days, send another text message. Hey, I've got a few open houses coming up I think you'd be interested in. Would you like me to make you a list? And then some more text and stuff like that. So looks like this is a total of 20 days and 15 steps and 7 touches. So let's add the smart plan. And I'll show you how to edit this later, but looks like it comes as a bundle. So I'm going to download my monthly neighborhood nurture, my long-term nurture, and then download that whole set. Now, we could also do, let's see here. If we know Gary's birthday, we could add a birthday smart plan. So I'll add that too. And if we don't have Gary's birthday, a great idea would be to give him a call at some point, maybe not the first contact, not like, oh, he signed up for my open house, now I'm going to call him and ask him what his birthday is. But once we've got more of a relationship established, people enjoy when people want to know what their birthday is. So if you give Gary a call and say, hey, Gary, just checking in on you, seeing how you're doing today. I was just realizing I don't have your birthday, and I'd love to be able to send you a card or something, like want to stay in touch and make sure that I get to celebrate that special day with you. People will feel great about that. So that's another great way you can reach out to people. You may also want to do like a quarterly call plan. Here's a 5x5x5. There's all kinds of different things you could do in here, and it's really going to be your call in terms of like what feels the most genuine to you, what sounds like your voice when it comes to reaching out to your contacts. But just realize that the more times you can talk to them throughout the course of a year, the more you're going to be top of mind with them, and the less likely it is that they're going to do business with another agent, because you're really staying in touch with them. And so smart plans are a good way to just automate that staying in touch process and to be constantly reminded to stay in touch. So one of the newer things about smart plans is that, as you can see, some of these are from Keller Williams, but some of these are actually created by some top Keller Williams real estate agents. So these people have made these smart plans and then are sharing them for free in the smart plans library. You can see how many agents are using these smart plans. So like the monthly neighborhood nurture, for example, we've got over 32,000 agents using this, and it's 4.5 stars. We've also got this 5x5 database touch, or this 5x5x5. There's almost 2,000 agents using that, and it's 4.5 stars. So something to think about, if you see a smart plan on here that's got a lot of agents using it and it also has a lot of stars, it's probably pretty good. And don't forget, you can also view those steps and see kind of what that smart plan looks like before you decide to add it. Now, once you've added some smart plans to your database, you can go back to My Smart Plans, which is the page that it first lands on when you first go to Smart Plans over here in the left-hand column. And now you can see kind of what stuff you've got in your library. So here's that open house follow-up. I already know I want to change that, so I'll click this edit button. And now I can go through and make those little tweaks and changes that will make this kind of generic open house follow-up more specific to the virtual open house follow-up that I'm doing. So, and actually I didn't even search in the Smart Plans library, but there may even be a virtual open house sign up follow-up. So that's something you could search for as well. And there are ways to, when you're searching, there are ways to filter by like how highly rated they are, things like that, if you want them to be from any author or from Keller Williams. Now here's this text that would go out. Hey, contact first name. So in this case, it would be Gary. Thanks for tuning in today. What did you think of the virtual open house? And then, so that would happen day 1. And then I could also do, the next day, create a task. Now this would be send an email to Gary Keller, send a nice to meet you at the open house email. That's pretty good. We can do that. It'll probably just say like, I guess you could say meet. You could even say nice to meet you. That's the thing people say, right? In 2020. And then 2 days later, make a call. So call the open house lead to see if they're interested in any upcoming open houses. So maybe instead you could say, call the open house lead to see if they're interested in scheduling a showing of any houses, since open houses aren't really a thing currently, but you can still do scheduled showings. And then some more days will go by. Hi, so-and-so, I have a few open houses coming up that I think you'd be interested in. Would you like me to send you a list? Maybe I have a few virtual open houses. And then call the open house lead to see if they're interested in any upcoming. Okay, so that's basically just another follow-up and so on and so forth. So as you guys can see kind of what I'm doing here, I'm just going through and editing all of these and just making them a little more customized to me. And then once I have that done, I'm going to click save. Okay, so now it says that it's saved. So I'm going to go back to my Smart Plans library. And let's do, let's look at this 5x5 too. So it looks like it's a phone call, touch task. Oh, send a handwritten note. I like that. So some more things. So let's add him to this plan as well. So I'm going to go back to my contacts. Now I can, let me back up for a second actually. I can add Gary to these smart plans from my smart plans page by clicking this add contact button right here. So that is an option. Today, I kind of prefer to go into the actual contact and add them from there. I mean, it's potato, but I think that's just my preference. So I'm gonna type in Gary's name as my contacts are loading. Still loading. All right, Gary. So I'm gonna click him. Now I'm gonna go to Smart Plans and I'm gonna add him to some Smart Plans. So let's add him to this. And I know that my open house is gonna be tomorrow. So let's start that tomorrow. And then I'm gonna click confirm. Now I don't have my Twilio account set up, so I am gonna have to manually do these text messages. That's okay. And now he's on. And then let's also add him to that 5x5. I like that one as well. So, you know, I mentioned earlier that Kelly is great at giving you notifications whenever you get a new lead. But what Kelly will also do is notify you when you have a new task. So let's say you've got a task to call Gary and follow up about blank. You'll get a push notification to your phone or to your watch or both that says, call Gary and follow up about blank. So it's a great way to be reminded to stay in touch without having to log into Command and check your tasks every single hour of every day. Now, it is a great idea to log into Command and check your tasks. So you can do that from this button right here. However, a little bit easier would probably be to just see when you have those notifications so you can make sure you're staying on top of everything. Okay, so now we've added him to some smart plans. Now let's talk about opportunities. So I think a lot of people, when they get a lead, they don't usually create an opportunity for them until they get a little bit further in the process. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to create an opportunity. Tiana actually in our market center teaches opportunities once a month. I think in the West Seattle office, Kayla does that class.
Every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Yep.
Yep. So if you haven't taken that class yet, definitely do that. And she'll talk to you guys more about opportunities and how this works. And at our office, we call this prep to get paid, because it's really important if you want to get paid in real estate that you have to get your opportunity squared away. So just a little plug for those classes. But I'm going to say, obviously, if Gary's interested in an open house, it means he's probably a buyer. That's the client name. If he's got a co-buyer, let's say his spouse is in here, I could put their name in here too. We're going to call this opportunity name Gary Keller buyer. I can add some custom tags in here. Estimated close date. So if he's looking at open houses, I'd say probably within the next 12 months, we'll say. Now, I don't know his budget, but I do know that he wants to tour a house that was $750,000. So that can kind of give me an idea. Maybe his budget is around $750,000. I can always change this later. Commission, I'll say, 3%, or maybe on the safe side, say 2.5. And right now he's in the cultivate stage. So this is kind of that stage that I was talking about earlier, where I feel like most agents are not really taking the opportunity to use opportunities at this early stage. So this is something I'm encouraging you guys all to do, and I'll show you why. So we're going to put him as cultivate, and he's in the very first stage, which is watch. Obviously, nurture is probably like a little bit more, we're getting warmer, and then hot is obviously he's ready to go. So let's create that opportunity. And then I'm going to click in here. So now this is my opportunities. Well, let me go back. Let me go to my opportunities pipeline first. So I'm going to click this. And as you can see, I don't have any listing opportunities coming up. Therefore, I've got about $0 potential income coming from listings because I have nobody in listings. I do have a few buyer potential clients. So I've got almost $60,000 of potential income. Now, as you can see, my probable income is still $0. And that's because this person's actually a glitch. Let me see if I can delete that. I deleted this contact and now she's still in my opportunity. Oh, well, let's not worry about that. Back to opportunities. So you'll see though, as we move Gary through the pipeline here, that my potential income will then become my probable income. And it's a great way for you guys to track, what's your conversion rate? You're trying to add people to cultivate every single day, hopefully, because like we said in the beginning of class, it is a lead generation business. So if you don't have leads coming in, you're not going to be doing any business. So I know a good goal I would think would maybe be, let's try to add 5 people to my cultivate stage every single day, or 10 people to my cultivate stage every single day. And what that day looks like where you're getting those leads might not look the same. And maybe they're people that you already know, you just haven't ever added them to your database yet. It's not like you have to meet 5 new people or 10 new people every day, but they're people that you're adding to your database and you're saying, okay, I'm going to systematically, I'm making the choice, I'm going to start reaching out to these people so I can be the real estate agent. So let's see, we've got some very real people in here. We've got Jane Doe, Harry Potter, and Gary Keller. My database is looking real good. So I have these set as watch, nurture, and hot. Now, that's kind of up to some interpretation. I think like watch to me would be like, they're probably 12 months or more from a closing. Nurture would be maybe more like 6 months or more. And then hot would be like, okay, looks like they're going to close within up to 6 months, maybe even like the next 3. But if you're more of like no, actually, I want some actual parameters for these. I don't really like watch, nurture, and hot. you can actually change these stages. So I could throw these stages away, and instead I could add stages like 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, etc. So that's just an idea of something. If you don't like these terms, you could trash these, you could edit these, and you could, you know, change it. I actually will probably do that at some point because I don't really like these terms. I would rather have it be like an actual month timeline. So we are going to go back to this, go back to our cultivate stage. Now we've got Gary Keller in here. It looks like if he's looking at a $750,000 house, I have the potential income to make about $18,000, almost $19,000 from Gary Keller. So I've got him on these smart plans. So I'm checking in on him and I'm reaching out to him on a systematic, regular basis. I call him one day, I'm asking him for his birthday. I make sure that when his birthday comes, I send him a handwritten note and I give him a call or a text. Now, let's say Gary and I are in a conversation and he says, you know what, I got pre-approved. I'm ready to like really start looking at houses soon. I'd probably move him to hot. He's pre-approved. He's ready to start actually looking. Now, when Gary and I start actually going to view properties, so he's already been pre-approved, and now we're actually setting up appointments to go, okay, we're going to meet on Saturday to go look at some houses. He's going to move from hot or from cultivate to appointment. We're actually working together in person, safely, with masks, going to go view a property together because he wants to potentially put in an offer soon. So where did he go? And he disappeared. Oh, I took him over a little too far. Let's take him back. Go in here. Why is he disappearing? Anyway, so he should be an appointment. And you can see here, it's got some statistics in terms of like how likely it is that they'll come to close. So this is like a 5%, 7%, and then 10%. And as they move further and further into the process, their percentage will get higher and higher. So where did Gary go, you guys? I'm so confused. He just disappeared.
He's inactive.
Sometimes your leads will do that to you. They'll just ghost you. What did you say, Hannah?
He's underactive.
Oh, it's because I have our faces are covering that part of my screen, so I couldn't see it. Okay, thank you so much. I don't know why he won't go in this. Okay. Appointment. All right, it's not working for some reason. I don't know why. I just did this morning. Ah, there we go. Okay, we finally have him under appointment. So this is where we're scheduling him. We've got him scheduled, and then he actually kept the appointment. So as you can see, he can move through those phases through here. Now, once he's actually starting to put offers on properties, now this is when agents typically start adding him to opportunities. So what I'm saying is I think that you guys should take advantage of this sooner, because check this out. Now I can actually say, so here's my potential income, but now I have some probable income, because now I have Gary in a further stage where that percentage of likelihood to close has now increased and my probable income has now increased. So this is a really great way to kind of track your potential income and then like what you actually will probably make in the future. So just something to keep in mind. Know that Cultivate, this is any of your future business. This is the book that you'll be working on, you'll make those calls on, just like staying in touch with. This is kind of where Smart Plans really thrives. And then anything beyond that is your now business. Like that's like what you're working on currently. So we definitely want to make sure we're adding those people to Cultivate and keeping track of, you know, what they're looking for and all of that. let's see here. So let's go back to Gary. Now he's done his appointment and he's decided he's going to put an offer on a house. So I don't know why I'm struggling with this so much today. Go under active. This is where you wanted to be earlier. I think it's my mouse pad on my computer. I'm going to blame it on that. All right. Well, now he's gone again. Aha. No? Oh, there he is. Okay, this is so weird. Anyway, so he's got to close. Let's say he's in escrow. We've got him under contract, and now he gets to close. Do I delete Gary from my database and never talk to him again? Is that a good idea? No, I see Hannah shaking her head. No, we do not just delete Gary from our database. We still have the opportunity to work with him again in the future. So let's go back to Gary's contacts. Now, if he just bought a house with me, that means I know where he lives. So if I didn't already know this before, if I didn't already have this information in here, I can add his address. So let's go ahead and add that. I also have his home anniversary because, again, he bought a house for me. I know when that happened. So I'm going to go to add more information. Gary lives at the Keller Williams North Seattle office. And let's see if anything else needs to be updated. I would probably tag him like past client too. Now home anniversary, let's say he bought his house December 20th last year, and save. So now he has a home anniversary. Now he has an address. Now I don't recommend putting people on like a neighborhood nurture plan immediately after you sell them a house. I think that it might be good to give him like 90 days maybe, but then he might be curious, like, well, what else is going on in the neighborhood? So that's when that neighborhood nurture can be really fun. So because he has an address in here, he's got a neighborhood, Licton Springs, which I guess is what they consider the North Seattle office. He's got a neighborhood in his account. So I can set him up on like a monthly email drip campaign that every month he'll get an email of what kind of houses are for sale in his neighborhood. This is something he could literally just stay on for years. I mean, even when you're not actively looking to sell your house, sometimes it's just really fun to see what's going on in your neighborhood. And of course, it has my contact information here at the bottom. He can also add more neighborhoods. So if he's like, you know what, I've been living in Licton Springs now for like 6 months and I'm really hating the commute to West Seattle, maybe I should look at moving a little further south. He could add some neighborhoods to this page. It is a live page that can be changed like that. And then some neighborhood stats. He might want to check out what's going on in his neighborhood. Homes for sale, homes pending, average days on market, average home price, some sold stats. Here's where he could look at that commute to his office in West Seattle, wherever that might be. Look at some public schools nearby, which he probably already knows about if he lives here. And then also he's got some stuff we partnered with Yelp to provide this information too. So now we can set him up on a smart plan where we're sending out this monthly neighborhood nurture. So let's go back to smart plan. He doesn't need we might still keep him on the 5x5x5. That could be a good one, but he doesn't need the open house follow-up anymore. let's add him to that monthly neighborhood nurture. There we go. And then we don't want that to start right now. Like I said, he like just bought his house with us, but we can have it set up to happen in like 3 months, maybe like end of January. We'll start sending him those emails. All right, and now Gary is set up for that. So now we've taken this contact through, you know, when you first received him as a lead, through all the different ways you can stay in touch with him using smart plans, through how you take him through each opportunity of, you know, wherever he's at in the home buying process, and then now reinserting him back into that smart plan phase and potentially, hopefully doing business again with him in the future. You know, another thing that you could do as well, which I forgot to mention, but whenever you've got a new lead, and let's pretend like Gary is back to being that guy that just signed up for the virtual open house. You can also do a custom or a saved search for him too. So if you want to create a saved search, I'm in his contact information. You see timeline, opportunities, smart plans, tasks, notes, and save searches. I'm going to create a new save search. We're going to call this, I guess we're not naming it yet, but let's see. We're going to have him search in the Licton Springs neighborhood, since again, we want to, if this would be great if you follow up with your open house, your virtual open house lead, and say, you know, what are you looking for? Are you looking for 5 bedrooms, or would 4 bedrooms do, or would 3 bedrooms do? Are you looking for a house around $750,000, or can you go higher, or is that kind of outside of your budget? So these are things that you could have conversations with your lead and then tweak these later. But when all you're going based off of is the fact that they signed up for this virtual open house, don't forget that you at least know this information about them. Like, you already know that they would be fine looking at something in this neighborhood of your virtual open house. You know that the price is probably okay with them. You know that the number of bedrooms is probably okay with them. So try to just like take that information that you already know and then put it in here. So let's say the minimum, maybe we'll say like 650, and maximum maybe like 850. And you have the option to do some keywords in here. Let's say that one I think was 4 bedrooms. So let's say like 3+ bedrooms, 2+ baths. Your built, probably any is fine. Maybe like has parking. And then we'll go next. So now we create a saved search. So we'll call this Gary's Licton Springs search. All right, and that's his email address. And then we want to make sure that Gary gets notified whenever there are listings that are coming close that fit that criteria. So if you know that Gary's really interested in buying something soon, having him on instant notifications is a really good idea. Even daily notifications can be really great. You don't want to overwhelm someone that's just casually looking, because the last thing you want to do is have them click unsubscribe to you. So maybe if I don't know a lot about where Gary's at in the process, I think weekly or bi-weekly could be good for now. So let's just maybe say every other week, we'll send him some new houses for him to look at, and then we'll create that saved search. So now he's on this saved search too. I can add multiple saved searches. So if he's looking in multiple neighborhoods, I've got Gary's Licton Springs search, but I also know that Gary works in West Seattle and he might be interested in moving down there instead. So I can create another search and call this one Gary's West Seattle search or something like that. Does anyone have any questions about that or anything else that I've covered today? I feel like I went kind of fast. Did anyone learn anything new? Yay, that's the goal. All right, awesome. Well, that's kind of all I have for you guys today. So we ended about 10 minutes earlier than planned, but if you don't have any questions, then take that 10 minutes to come up with some people to add to your database. I just did a database management class a couple weeks ago, so the video for that is in the that library that Sierra and I have put together. Let's see. Oh, I see, Hannah, you asked a question. Do you need to change the name to the name of your lead in the smart plan, or will that auto-populate? I think it'll, what are you asking? Or did you already get the answer to your question?
It's going to auto-populate. There's a placeholder that's in there already that's like, hello, recipient's first name. So it's just depending on the smart plan that you choose, it will auto-populate as long as that placeholder is in there.
Okay. So like what's in parentheses, that's like first name or last name, that'll auto-populate. Okay, cool.
Yes, just as long as you have that in the contact, like in your contact.
Perfect. Oh, and I also would really recommend before you get started on this and start adding a bunch of people to smart plans, it's always a really good idea to do a test run with yourself first and just see what it looks like, because that way you'll know if there is something funky that comes across where it's like, hey, Hannah, last name here, how's it going? Like, you'll know that there's an issue with that, and it's something you can tweak before you send it out to your clients. So just a little pro tip for you guys. But well, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone for coming today and for joining us for this class. I really had fun teaching this one. Hopefully you guys can use it in your business, and let me know if you do and how it works for you. And we'll see you next week. No, we won't see you next week because it's Thanksgiving. Well, have a good Thanksgiving, you guys.
You too.